Hello friends, you're welcome to my channel. Thank you for tuning this channel today. So today I will be teaching the continuation of this trouser tutorial. This is the part 2, the sewing of the trouser, and if you have not watched the part 1, please do well to check on my channel, watch the part 1, and I also have the measurements on my channel. So before you start sewing the trouser, make sure you weave all the edges. Make sure you weave your trouser because we don't have much allowance inside, so you have to weave it before you start sewing. And if you want your trouser to have a lining inside, before you weave the trouser, cut lining. Like your lining should stop before the knee, like this length is okay. You cut your lining and you weave it also. Then before you start sewing, make sure you first of all place the lining on top of the trouser and run thread to catch it, both front and back. If you want lining at the front, you can do so. If you want it both back and front, you do that. But for this one, there will be no lining. So I'm going to start from my pocket first. Now I just cut a paper gum. So how to sew trouser pockets. This is the front of my trouser, the two fronts. So this is the wrong side. Now I'll pick the wrong side like this. Now, so the pocket length, we use 6 inches to cut the pocket. So I'm going to mark 6.5 now instead of 6 inches, half inch to join the upper part, so that 6 inches will be left. Now I will pick my style like this. So my style length, I'll use 9 inches. You can use 8 inches. It depends the size of the person. So I'm using 9 inches. I will cut 9 inches into 2. This is 9 by 5. You can use 4 by 8. So I'm going to place it now from the waistline, from the side like this. I'm going to gum it like so, from the back. Are you seeing this part now? I will now trim it out like this now. Okay. Then this down part, I will lift it up like so. Like this, I will slant it. I see now. I'm going to slant the pocket shape. I can pick this one, lift it up a bit so that I will slant the two at a time. And before you slant it, make sure that the wrong side, they are facing each other. So I will now gum it very well. So I'm going to apply the same thing to this one. I'll pick this one like this. So how to sew it? So I'll place the two fronts like this, and I will measure that 6.5 that I marked, 6.5 the pocket line instead of 6 inches. So I'm going to use my scissors to give a notch like this, just a little notch, and I will keep this one now. So this is my pocket. The side that is curved, I'm going to use that side now to place on this one to sew. Make sure you shift the pocket upward like half inch. Just shift it upward half inch and sew it like this. same line that I notched, now I'm going to notch the pocket. Remember, I notch only this one, that is the front. So right now I'm going to top stitch it. Just shift the allowance to the pockets and top stitch like this. This top stitch is to make it firm, so I'm going to give it a good press now. There is something you need to know. When you're sewing the thread after notching the line, make sure your thread just step down a bit. Don't stop exactly that line that you notch. It's not even up to half quarter. I just step my needle just one bit down, and when you notch the second one, which is the pocket, you don't go too close to your thread. You see where my thread is stopping? So this way you're not going to cut thread, and when you turn it to the front, so it will be neat. So when you finish ironing, you should have something like this. See how it is. So when you finish ironing it, open your pockets this way now and pick the side to place on top. Check this down part, make sure that it's equal like this. This upper part, I slant it with 2.5 inches. Now because I've turned this part now, I've also lost ½ inch. So I'm going to replace 3 inches back, 3 inches. So my pocket is going to be from this 3 inches to where the pocket will stop. So if you place it this way, you have something like this. Then come to this down part now. You know, we notch this pocket line. Just go below the pocket line and notch it this time around. Come down by ½ inch. Don't notch exactly the same line that we notch this one. Now that you're finished turning it, come down by ½ inch this way. So just notch ½ inch below the line of the pocket, and you're going to notch both of them. Are you seeing now? You notch both of them like this, and you flip it up this way, turn it to the inside. So this side I'm sewing now is the good side. This is the good side. So from that point that I notched, I'm going to sew it now and follow the pocket shape. You can now turn it out. Use your scissors to push it out. Now if you check, you see that the allowance is on the good side. Are you seeing now? The allowance that I sew is on the good side. But because it's inside, it's okay. So it's going to be like this. So when you check the back is very neat. That is the reason why the allowance should be inside. At this point, you can iron it. We normally top stitch it. I'm going to top stitch it now to make it firm. So that your pocket will not lose easily. this point, if you want to run thread on top of your pocket line like this, you can top stitch it. Look to be seeing thread on top of your pocket like this. This is when you can top stitch it. Just run thread like this. Let me use this chalk for you to see. You can just run thread like so. But I would not like thread to show on top of this pocket. I'm okay with what I have here. I've already top stitch here, and with the gum it's going to balance. So I will just hold the pocket like this now, and I will place it at these 3 inches. The down part to be equal like this. So I'm going to run thread now from the 3 inches to catch both the pocket and the trouser and the upper part. Then this line here, I'm going to top stitch on top to hold it. So see what I have now? The chalk is showing as thread if you want your thread to show. The next thing is to sew the zipper fly. So I just had a paper gum to it. I see now, I gum it full, this one too, and I also cut facing. So I'm going to use this now to turn it. I'll bring the tube like this. I'll hold the two fronts like this, then I'll measure. I want my zipper to be 7 inches, so I'm going to mark 7 inches. So from this 7 inches, I'm going to give it a notch. So I will sew from the 7 inches down. So you stitch with 1/2 inch. Just leave a space here first. Don't close it to the end. Leave a space here, like 1/2 inch first. Now, I can top stitch this line again to make it firm, because it's trouser as you're walking, so that your thread will not loose. So see what I have now. See, you see my thread a little bit upward from the 7 inches that I notched. See how it is. Now when you finish closing this part, you should have something like this. I'm placing it like this so that you will see through the camera. This is a female trouser, and the zipper fly, the side that is going to lap will be the right side as I'm holding it now. So it will face the left side. This is how female trouser should be. So the zipper fly pieces that I have here, the 2 pieces, you place it like this. Know that you're going to sew it this way. This is the side that will lap. Now I cut another pieces to turn it now. This piece now is to turn it so that the paper gum will not show. So this side that will lap the zipper, I'm going to sew from this point now, the curved area like this, and leave this part now. I will leave this straight part. So I'll quickly sew it like this. Follow the curve part. Can give it a notch. And turn it this way. Then iron it. Another thing that you can do to this piece, if you're cutting it, you can cut it on fold, and the Estelle, the gum stay will be inside. You can cut it on fold. Then this second part now, I'm going to turn it also, but this one I will turn everywhere. I'm going to turn everywhere on this one. So you notch it and turn it out. So I'm going to iron it now. So I finished ironing it and I top stitch this one to catch both of them together while this one is turned everywhere. So this is the part that will lap, remember. So I'm going to work on this side first, the left. I'm going to work on the left first. So I will pick it like this, and this is my zipper now. See where I notch the 7 inches. So I'm going to place my zipper above the 7 inches, like 3/4 of an inch. I'll just place it like that, and I'm going to sew it. Leave the excess to be at the upper part. At this point, you can turn it to the front. This is how the zipper should be. It should lap very well. So when you're sewing it, bring it very close. Bring your thread very close to this so that it will lap when you finish it. So when you finish, you check and see that it's lapped, it's okay. You can now pick the piece that will cover it and place it like this. Make sure it also cover the zipper. Now this one, you should push it 1/2 inch above the zipper at the down part so that when you turn it, it will cover the zipper very well. Are you seeing now? Just 1/2 inch. So this one now, you turn it this way. I see. Turn it to the back side. Then follow that your thread. I'll just follow the thread. So see what I have now. See how it is. This is beautiful. This is the easiest way to do it. Now I'm going to pick the second piece like this. Then I will place it like so. I will also shift it. If I check from the line now, what I have here is like 1 inch. Yes, 1 inch. 1 inch above the line that I notched. Then just sew it. So you can add scissors, you can just notch it for it to balance very well. Then you top stitch it, push the allowance to the overlap side. Are you seeing now? Like this. And top stitch it. You see the remaining allowances at the upper part. So I'm going to iron it like this. So when you finish ironing it now, you should have something like this. So you place it like so. At this point, you have to make it lap. Make sure that your zipper is not showing in front, so you can pin it the way you want it. Just make it lap on top of this one a little, so I can now pin it like this. Lift this one up. As you're lapping it, you're pinning it at the back. Make sure it's lapped and pin it. So if you watch what I have here, I pin both the zipper with it, both the zipper, I just pin it together like this. So see the back, see the way it is. Now this is the front. You see that it's lap. At this point now, you can turn it to the back. So when you turn it to the back, you catch it this way, remove the pin while you're holding it like this. The reason why you should hold it like this, because you're going to pull this one out. You're sewing your thread on top of the zipper and the piece together. So when I get to this point, I will remove one of the pin like so while I'm holding it, and make sure I shift the trouser and just sew only the zipper and the piece. I will remove this other pin also. So see what I have now. At this point, you can now decide, because you can decide now how many inches to run thread. I would like this one to be 1.5, so you can mark 1.5 like this. The shape of 1.5 is okay, and you go down with it. When you get to this point, just give it a curve and check if you like the shape. Fine. If you want or 1/4, can also be okay, so that it will not be too big. Then you see the shape. So for the upper part, you lift this one out. I see now. Then you top stitch this thread like this. Follow the shape. So you follow your chalk like this and just top stitch it. You see that this one is separate. I did not join it together because you need to open the zip. This is the space for zip to be open. Now at this down part, you can now cover it like this for it to knit. Just stitch it together, the down part like this. So this way, if you finish open your zip and zip it, it's going to lap like this. The zipper will not disturb your body. So see the front. So I'm done with the zipper fly. I'll keep it aside. So this is the two back. I just sew my dart now, the same way that I marked the dart. Now the length of the dart is 4 inches, the same 4 inches that I talked about. So I've finished sewing the dart. I'll hold the two back like this. But before closing it, I will just come down by 4 inches like this, and I will close it from the 4 inches down. I'm going to use half inch first to close it. You can stop half inch, leave it open like this first. Then I'll open it like this and bring the front to it. Now I'm going to close it till down. So I'll start from the down and close it with a 1/2 inch. Push the pocket away from the 1/2 inch and just sew it. You can only catch this point. So see what I have now, see the pocket. Don't go and join the pocket like this to sew it, please. Just sew this 1/2 inch. Then I will apply the same thing to this other side. So I finished closing the two sides. See what I have now is to close this part now from down. So before you close this line, measure your knee length. Mine is 22 minus bind, so I just marked it, and I'll hold the two sides. You know, front and back is not equal, are you seeing now? So you're going to hold it like this together, make it equal, and close it with the instep allowance. The ankle, mine is 13. Just follow the allowance like this. Keep sewing. Then you can check your knee measurements. So the knee measurement, mine is 21. Okay, at this point now, this is the reason why I stop here. I'm going to check this back to make it equal. So I'm going to make this back equal with the front like this now. So my thread will go this way. At this point I can run thread again to make it firm. Now that I'm sure of that back now, the front I run thread 2 times, so you can top stitch it again like this. Stop at that 4 inches. So I'm going to close this one finally. So you see that they are equal now. You can lose this first thread a bit so that you can open it like this for ironing. So I'm going to catch both of them together like so. Make sure the lines are equal. Immediately you cross like this, you stop now and come to this down part so that you get the shape very well. You mark the ankle again. So you see this starting point, 13.5. For it to free a bit, I will come up by 2 inches. From the 2 inches now, is going to be exact ankle measurement, 13 inches. So my 13 inches is here, like this. While this point is 13 and a half. Please take note. So I will sew like this from the 13 and a half, connect it to the 13 like so, before taking it upward. Then I can now check my waist measurement, open the zipper like this. So the waist measurement starts from here, this point, 39 inches. I'm going to divide it by 2. So this is my 39, like this. From this point, 39 divided by 2. I'm going to mark it also. This is how you can get the waist measurements for this particular pattern. There are different methods of sewing trouser, but this is how to get the waist perfectly. So I'm going to connect it now. You see the reason why I stop at this 4 inches. So now I'm going to connect it like this and blend it in. At this point, you press it, open all the allowance and make sure you press every stitch. So I've finished ironing my trouser. If you can observe what I have here, the allowance that I used to close this trouser, even till the crotch length, till the down part, is up to 1 inch. The reason why is because I noticed that this fabric stretched a bit. I see now, it stretched a bit. Because if you watch the cutting of the trouser, the measurement I introduced to you is a fitted trouser. But because of the kind of fabric that I use now in sewing this trouser, I have more than ½ inch allowance, which is okay. The allowance is okay for me. I just leave it inside and I iron it. So it all depends the kind of fabric you're going to use for your own. And this allowance at the back side, when you get the waist, with the allowance that you can fall back to. If you have any issue that the waist is tight, this is the allowance you can fall back to. Because the side, there is no allowance that you can use. So I went ahead and cut my waistband. The waistband is 1½ inches. Now I need a ½ inch seam allowance at this upper part and the lower part. So I cut my band with 4 inches. 4 inches. If I open it on fold, that is 2 inches. So I went ahead and cut my collar gum. What I use here is collar gum, 1½ inch. I just give a space at the upper part, ½ inch, and I gum the collar gum. So it depends on the kind of stay you're using. If you're using a gum stay, paper gum, you can gum it full. This 4 inches, just gum it full and fix your band. Follow all of this process. But this one is very strong and thick. I want the waistband to be firm, so I'm using this collar gum to do it. So I create a space at the upper part. Now this other part, there is no collar gum. The part that will be inside, that is the back. So when I finish ironing the collar gum, I now fold this ½ inch like this so that it will be neat when I'm placing it on. When I'm sewing it to the trouser, now this part will be folded like this. So just follow the process. Let's join the waistband. Now this waistband, the way I'm going to fix it, you see the waist, I will start from this part and I fix it till this front. So it's going to come out at the front. The 2 edges will be at the front. But there is another pattern if you want your waistband to come out at the back like this. The same way you have allowance here, so that the waistband can also have allowance in case any adjustment. What you can do, you cut extra. This one I just added some inch to this one, some inches to this one. You also calculate and have it in mind that your waistband should have allowance here, so you add extra to it, and that way you're going to open this back now, the crotch at the back, the upper part, open it. So when you fix it here, you come out here, you leave, you fix here, you come out here, before you can close the crotch line and now fold the waistband like that round. That way you will have allowance at this part. But this method now, see what I'm going to do. So the zipper fly, this is the big side, this is the small side. So I'm going to place it like this. I will sew from back my waistband and turn it to the front. So before you start sewing, just leave a space, the waistband, leave a space. You can leave 1.5 inch. I'm leaving mine 1.5 inch. Just create a space. So you see now that the band is longer than the zipper fly. So at this point, you can cut the excess of the zipper fly at the upper part. This is the time to cut it, because if you're not careful, you might spoil the zip. When you zip it, it will just pull out. So it's better to leave it till now before you cut the excess out. Now, I'm going to hold this part and fold it to the back like this. And I will close this seam. So when you turn it to the front, you should have something like this. So the allowance here is 1 inch. If you want yours to be more than 1 inch after finishing, that means you should use like 2 inches. So when you finish it, you have 1.5. This other side that is small, the allowance I need there will be just 1/2 inch. I will cut the excess out, and I will turn it to the front. At this point, you can now run thread on top. You see how it is? Cover all the seam allowance inside to make it neat. So at this point, you can use your skate hook to fix it. Note that the waist starts from this zipper line. This is the small side. The waist measurement start from this zipper line. This is how you have to place the small hook. Or if you want to use button, you can create a buttonhole channel here. Then the second one, which is the big one, you see your measurement here. So you place it like so, and you fix your hook. The next thing to do now is to hem the down of my trouser. While we are cutting this trouser, I added 2 inches at the down part, so that 2 inches is for hemming. So I'm going to hem like this. I'll fold the 2 inches. You measure it and let the side seam face the side seam. This side seam at the down part face this one like this. Then you check. If it's 2 inches, if it's 1.5, you pin it round. So if I pin it round now, I'm going to use my hemming gum to catch it, to iron it. Then later, I will use machine to hem the down. There is a hemming machine that can hem the down neatly, because this hemming gum, after washing it, it will pull out. But if it's a flower material, you can actually run thread on top. But this particular fabric, because it's plain, I don't want thread to show anywhere. So I'm going to do that and size the trouser for you to see. I will wear it for you to see. So I'm through with the hemming. I just put it on for you to see. The place is becoming darker. I've not fixed my hook yet. I'm going to fix it later. I just want you to see the fitting of the trouser. So let me shift for you to see. So see how beautiful it is. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video.